Hello everybody, Imminent Storm here. Welcome back to Kerbal Space program. In the last episode, I did a demonstration flight of the new single stage to orbit sling bow vehicle that I came up with. And it works very well, and we used it to deliver crew to the KSS Ballista, which is going to be flying a mission to Duna. A second mission to Duna, as kind of its maiden voyage. The Arbalest will be the one that's going to head out to Jool. Now, as I mentioned in the previous episode as well, the slingbow design is a very good, effective SSTO for getting crew to, low carbon orbit and doing, standard orbital rendezvous and docking. It works perfectly well for that. The problem is, it is not going to serve as a lander for a mission to Lathe as part of the Jool system because it's just too big. It's just way too big and way too heavy to work in that regard. So I mentioned that I was going to try and see if I could come up with a much smaller, lighter design that could still accomplish the same thing. And I've done some tinkering and tweaking, and I have come up with a new design, which I should have loaded here in the spaceplane hangar. And here it is. This is the Mark 6 SSTO, the Slingshot. And as you can see, it is still following the same basic design principles. The same, hull profile cross-section. Let me turn that back up. With the same kind of rear delta wing, forward canard, vertical stabilizers on the wingtips, and the, engine nacelles around here. So it's got 4 engine nacelles with the Rapier engines, intakes on the front, and again, also oxidizer in the central fuselage, and liquid fuel in the nacelles. And then it also has a toroidal aerospike engine as a standard rocket engine for, the, rocket assist at high altitude and for orbital maneuvers. Because it's more efficient in orbit, in space, than the Rapiers are. So that works pretty well there. And I've flown it a couple times, and it does get to orbit fairly effectively. With these 4 Rapiers and the fact that this thing is so much smaller and lighter, this thing will move off the runway. Maybe I could just do a demonstration flight. Yeah, I won't actually take it all the way to orbit, but I am going to go ahead and throw a pilot in here. Oh, and I did recruit a whole bunch more Kerbals. So I got a whole bunch more Kerbals available. So let's go ahead and throw this baby on the runway. Because trying to do a whole orbital flight is just going to take too long. But just to kind of get it up in the air, fly it around a little bit, we'll go ahead and do that. And then I'll show you what I've done with it so far. Because this is going to be landing on Lathe. Right? This is going to be a Lathe lander and take off and get to orbit. Hopefully, that'll work. Alright, so there we are. Brakes engage. release. Stabilization. It's already over 200 meters per second by the time it reaches the end of the runway. Oh. I have the limit queue on. It's annoying that that actually still enforces even when I don't even have the set autopilot on. Almost 400 meters per second. So yeah, this thing moves. And is fairly stable in flight, just like its predecessor. Alright, let's give it a little juice. See if I can put it back on the runway. Now this does not have air brakes, so I didn't feel it needed it, because it is light enough that it can slow itself down pretty effectively. Let's give it a little bit. Relight those engines. Keep speed up. Get the gear down. It's a little hard, but good landing. Brakes on. And there we are. Flies pretty well. Alright, recover the vessel. Now it also has a cargo bay with a full suite of scientific instrumentation, so it is ready to go. So I've gone ahead and actually I basically made that vehicle the payload of a rocket, and I launched it and brought it up to the Arbalest and was able to dock it. So if we go over to the arbalest, oh yeah, the longbow. I did go ahead and remove the longbow components from the space station. So I have some plans to make some adjustments to the overall layout of the station. Going to add some additional life support, going to add some additional lithium tanks, that sort of stuff. Alright, so here we are. Wait, is that RSS? Did I mistype that? Yeah, I did. Well, let's just fix that. There we go. Okay, so there it is. You see that it fits a lot better. Actually, it's almost sized perfectly to fit between these two docking ports. Though it does block that docking port right there, which is fine. It's not a problem. But it kind of nestles in there very nicely. Just gonna need to bring up some additional mass to stick on these docking ports here. And then we should be good. Then we're going to need to bring up some additional life support. That's most likely what we're going to bringing up here is additional life support modules to counterbalance this thing. Because this thing is about, what, 32.5 tons fully loaded. And it's off the center of thrust. So, I mean, it really shouldn't be that bad. But, you know, just want to balance it out just to make sure. So I'm going to bring up around 32 tons worth of life support. And see if that provides what we need. Here, we're up to 13,452 meters per second at delta V. That'll do. Alright, now I did also make an adjustment to well, not an adjustment, but I added some additional parts to the ballista, if I can find it here in orbit. And it keeps changing it to the wrong icon. Okay, so first off, let me fix this, rename the vessel, switch it to a ship, not a station, because it is a ship, not a station. Why isn't the electric charge full? No, oh, it's filling up. Okay, good. Weird. Alright, so what I brought up here is these container modules. This one is for more supplies, so we now have a total endurance of 6 years, 307 days worth of supplies. The Kerbal 1 station needs to be worked on a little bit there. And then I brought up another module that has material kits. Now, the reason why I brought up more material kits is because I kind of was intending to do aerobraking maneuvers with this vehicle. And the thing is that this heat shield is not going to be large enough to protect the habitation unit here with it fully extended. So if I'm going to do an aerobrake maneuver, what I'm going to need to do is retract the habitation module. I'm going to move the Kerbals to other areas of the ship, you know, stop the rotation, retract it, deploy the heat shield, do the aerobrake, and then I'll need to redeploy it, which means it'll need more material kits to redeploy. So that is what those are for. Now, do I need to do an aerobraking maneuver? No. But it is going to be a test, primarily, for whether the aerobraking concept with this vehicle will, in fact, work. So, you know, because it'll get to Duna a lot faster than the other vehicle is going to get to Joule. So, we'll have a chance to kind of work out any issues, hopefully, on that mission, you know, because if it isn't going to work, then we're going to abandon the concept for the other one. So, for this Duna mission we're going to do here, because what we'll do is we'll retract all these things, turn off the reactors, turn this thing, you know, retract that, deploy the heat shield, fly the aerobrake, and then, you know, see how things go from there. Okay, distracted myself there. So what we need to do is we now need a lander for Duna. So that is what we are going to do next. Is come up with a lander that we can use for Duna. Which is actually going to be somewhat simple because, well, we've already done it once. But I do want to add some additional functionality here. I'd really like to get a rover that can be dropped. So I'll have to see if we can do that here. Alright, so let me just find the original Duna lander. Let's load that up. Oh, yeah, it's still in its lift vehicle. But let's go ahead and get rid of that. Okay, so yeah, this was the idea there. Was we had our deorbit solid fuel boosters. We burn that in orbit, ditch them. How heavy was this thing? 17 tons? It's not bad. Have the heat shield for re-entry, the parachutes, And then we do whatever propulsive landing we need to do toward the end to get onto the surface. It's not a bad design. But you know what? I think we can do better. So I'm gonna go ahead and just say new. We're gonna redesign this thing. Actually, what kind of delta V are we looking at? 2,000. 2,000 meters per second. We're gonna need takeoff delta V to get into orbit. Alright, I think we can do that. Yeah, let's go ahead and go new. Don't save. It's going to need to have a capsule on it that can support a minimum of 2 Kerbals. I mean, the Salamander command pod is not bad for that job. That's a station core. That's not a lander. The cupola module. That's too big. Though it is actually lighter. Ah, but it only supports 1 Kerbal. Right, that's the issue with that. I don't know if we've even unlocked anything. See, this carries 3 Kerbals, 1.8 tons. Yeah, let's give that a try. Let's give that a try. Now, it'll need the same capabilities, so we're going to need to be able to do docking, right? Obviously. And it's going to need to have a minimum of 4 parachutes. I'm probably going to have to place them individually. Let's see. 1 there. 1 there would work. And over here, same thing. 1 here. And 1 here. Right. It'll need some RCS blocks. What's the smallest ones we got? These? Have to cover up the flag there, which is alright. Hopefully that'll be far enough out of the way that the Kerbal won't cause any problems with it. I could test it. Yeah, I could do a test. Let's see. Let's stick it on top of some sort of structural element. Okay, and let's put it on the pad. Alright, and so if someone wanted the EVA, what would it look like? Okay, well, it didn't break off. And we can reboard. It's just a little bit awkward, but not a problem. Alright, good. Good, good, good. Alright, let's head back in there. Alright, pop that off, and let's actually move this thruster up a little bit. There you go. That'll be better. Alright. Now, how much modern propellant do you come with? 20 units? Alright. Alright, we're going to need a science payload. Let's see, what would happen if I just kind of strapped the experiments to the side? That could work. See, there's the gravioli detector. There is the too hot thermometer. Alright. Barometer. Okay. And seismic scanner. Let's see. Atmospheric sounder. I'd only really need one of those. I'll be directly in the path of one of the RCS thrusters. You could always strap this on somewhere else. And then we have our atmospheric fluid spectrovariometer, which is a fairly sizable piece of gear. And I could always try to find somewhere else to stick that. Yeah, actually, that works. I think that works. So there's all of our scientific equipment. Now, the rover. So what I'm thinking is using this as a kind of storage bay for it. But it had to be relatively small. Now, do I want a decoupler? I don't want too much ejection force, actually. Right. So ejection force of 100. Oh, I can control the force. Okay. Like, it doesn't need really any force. It just needs to release. Right? Okay, so what do we have here for rover tech? No, this isn't really what I'm looking for. Portable light kit? No. Thermal ground. Landing module. That's interesting. Structural. Let's see, what do we got? It's just like an attachment node. I guess it's just like a little attachment node. Interesting. Structural panel. Also interesting. A little bit too large. Let's see, there's a structural panel. Alright, we're gonna need some wheels, obviously. It's gonna need a probe core so that it can drive autonomously, because I don't think that this is gonna have like any kind of piloted capability. Well, I have to make sure that I have a relay antenna somewhere. Let's see, is this a relay? Let's see. No, that's direct. That's direct. That's a relay. That's a relay. Direct, relay, relay, direct. Let's see, if I go with it, that could work. It would at least get it back to the main ship. All right. So, what kind of probe core do I want to put on here? No, far too large. There's that. That might be the best bet, all told. Electrical, it's going to need some battery power. Right, there we are, and some sort of wheel system. Thing is, I don't know if I have any rover wheels actually unlocked. just these? No, those could work. I mean... Whoa, 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 whoa. There we go. These could work. Now the question would be, is that small enough? Motor direction normal. Well, this is going to be the Duna lander Mark II. So let's save that and let's run a little bit of a test, shall we? Okay, so if we were to deploy, even still, it's probably putting way too much force on there. It is trying to twist a little bit. Let's see. Let's turn the motor off on the, what I guess we would call the rear wheels. Okay, well, I was able to successfully get it out. Let's see. The turning is all wrong. So, steering disabled, steering disabled. Okay. Oh, that does it on both. Oh, I'll need to put the wheels on there individually. Okay, so that I can control them individually. All right. All right. Good to know. Good to know. You guys need to be recovered. There we go. And yeah, so that should also prevent it from doing things goofy as far as mirroring stuff. Alright, so we're going to do these one at a time. And I'll have to try and get them placed as carefully as possible. Trying to line up with that front edge. Looks decent. Alright, now they're placed individually. Let's see what that looks like. That battery may be too large. May want to go with some smaller batteries. Alright, go ahead and drop the rover again. Alright. Yeah, we're still wanting to spin. Alright, motor direction. Fine. Let's see. Turn the steering off on the rear wheels. Steering off on the rear wheels. And if I reverse the motor direction on those, that's good. Just you also need to have reversed steering direction. And it's working fairly well. Oh, hold on. I just realized I am pushing left and the wheels are turning right. Okay, so now you need to be inverted and you need to be normal. Okay, so steering. All right, so those on this side need to be reversed. Right, for motor direction. Steering turned off on the back. And steering direction inverted on that side. Okay. Now, the electric charge actually gives it some fairly decent endurance in the battery. Brakes! Ooh. Yep, it seems to be fairly maneuverable and actually pretty stable, all told. So yeah, that works nicely. All right. Turn the brakes on. Recover it. Recover you. Let's make those adjustments. Hopefully, I remember this correctly. All right, so I think this is the side it comes out. I think this is the side it comes out. I mean, it could come out both directions, but your motor direction's inverted. Your motor direction is inverted and your steering is disabled. Your steering is disabled. Motor direction is normal. Your steering is enabled, but the direction is inverted with the motor direction normal. Alright. Let's see, I wonder if I could save on mass here a little bit. I'm going for these batteries instead. Give me a little bit more clearance, too. Let's see, they have a mass of 0.0075 tons. You have a mass of 0.05 tons. Let's see. 3 point... $595 or $625, okay. $625. Yeah, it definitely is. See that? But that's 1,000 electric charge. These guys are 150, so 4 of them is 600. Actually, not bad. That's not bad. Now, electrical generation. I mean, I could throw some solar panels on here. And actually, I'm going to take your force percent to 0. Fuel cell array. That uses liquid hydrogen and oxidizer. Yeah, I think that should work. Now, what scientific instrumentation can we put on here? I was thinking of slapping on an arm here. Scanning arm. Okay, so preview scanning range. It could work. But I'm going to need to do another test. Alright, well, let's save it. And let's run another test. I'm not sure I'm going to finish designing this thing today. But, you know, this is part of the process. Trying to figure out how everything works. And, testing it. Okay, so actually, oh, can I advance this to daylight? Okay. Let's deploy. Oh, we're not actually controlling the right thing. There we go. Okay, let's drive it out. Oh, it goes the other direction now. Oh. You know what? It's perfectly fine. It seems to work, though that instrument is dragging very close. Scan distance 2 meters, no target in range. Okay, so is there anything in the area that I could potentially scan? And what... How is our electric charge doing? It's slowly increasing. Oh. That's what I was afraid of. Well, I have an idea about that. Okay. So I need more ground clearance. That is obvious. Or alright, you guys get recovered. Alright, so let's make another adjustment here. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull that off. I'm going to pull this off. We're going to put that on there. Take all that stuff off. We're going to slide this in there. Let's roll the batteries. On the bottom. Scanning arm. On the front. Yeah, that'll definitely work a lot better. We're gonna actually need it down there, I think. Actually, can we put it like right there? Yes. Preview the scanning range. Oh, nope. Preview the scanning range. Good. We'll throw those solar panels back on. Actually, you know what? I am going to go back with the with this style of battery, because then I can put the solar panels underneath there again. Alright, so can I do more of them? More of them. Yeah, I think that'll work. Yeah, those are far too large. Actually, I think this is supposed to be over here. That'll actually let me know which is the actual front of the vehicle. Okay, save that one more time and do another test. Okay. Let's see what it looks like when it deploys. Perfect. And yeah, that is the front. And it just needs the steering switched around. Let's check out the electric charge. It definitely does decrease while accelerating, but does re-increase when coasting or just sitting still. Alright, so let's make sure that nothing breaks off during normal operations. I'm not sure there's anything around here that is scannable. And actually, because it is a little bit heavier, it actually is a little bit more stable. So, as we're also going to be on Duna, which has a lot lower gravity than Kerbal. So, okay, here is an upward incline. Let's see how it transitions. Good. Alright, how fast do you get? 8 point... up to 9 meters per second. 9... Let's see, how fast can I get you up to? .4, 10.5, 10.6. .11 meters per second. That seems to be our top speed. So, for those of you that use such measures, such as myself, 11 meters per second is about 24.5 miles an hour. And there is a structure over here. So I'm going to go over there and see if this is a scannable object. Now also we're going to need like braking distance, right? How quickly can this thing slow down? Huh. even at under acceleration. There we go. It seems the faster that you're going, the less effective the motors are. That's interesting. Alright, yep, there is the... Ooh, it pulls when you turn the brakes on. Interesting. Yep, the squad monolith. Alright. Scan distance, no target in range. Okay. You need an actual, like, proper target formation to scan. But at least this thing will work. Yep, this little rover will absolutely work. Probably want to turn off this thing's reaction wheels. Because that will also save some power, because if we're not using the reaction wheels. Alright, so that is fairly successful. Let's go ahead and hit the brakes and recover the vessel. Now I just have to figure out how we're going to get back into orbit. All right. So we can close those up and it fits perfectly. Excellent. Now what I'm thinking is that what I'm probably going to want to do is this here. No, not the stack separator. I want the decouplers. And again, I want it to point down, and I want it to have 0 force. And stick that on there. All right. Now, what are we going to attach the engines to? There's a question. No, not that. But that is close. Let's see. Coupling. Alright, so that would deploy. That would deploy the payload. Right? Drop the rover, open the thing up, drop the rover, drop the rover again. I need a little bit more structure here. Perhaps a tank of some description. Like a procedural liquid tank. I think this is probably a good spot to do that. Okay, what if I went with Hydrolox in that tank, and then I went with let's see. I would need those radial attachment extensions. These guys. Right, and then we would need some sort of cryogenic engine. What are we looking at? 1900 meters per second at delta V. That's actually... that's actually not bad. And their ultimate length is, again, not bad. That could work. Now, what I probably would want to do is put the aerodynamic on here. And one other thing that I could do... Actually, we wanted to set this to body... Duna. Thrust to weight ratio is 6.89. That's pretty good. Procedural liquid tank. Tank type is going to be... Yep. Hydrolox. Gold foil. Maybe we should go with Cryogenic Orange for the insulation. Okay. Now, what if I were just to use 2 of these engines? You get even more delta V. Okay. And we could use those for deorbit. Now, we would need solar panels because, well, we would need power. And batteries, because the only batteries right now are on the rover. Is there a better adapter? Better adapter that I can use. There's that. And see, the thing is, I'm also going to be dropping the rover. So, with the rover dropped... With the rover dropped... See, now this is going to drive out... It's going to drive out this way. So what I probably will want to do... is we're going to need... a ladder of some description. Perfect. Sure, I'll do 2 of them. Why not? And I can throw a battery there. Now I just need some sort of landing leg. And then I think that'll actually work. Let's see, what do we got? We've got these landing struts. Those are long enough. Those are absolutely long enough. And I can even give it a little bit more clearance. Or how they look retracted. Perfect. Alright. Now we just need some solar panels to give it some actual power. And then we're good. There's some solar panels. A couple more, just for good measure. And I think that's our lander. Let's save it. I mean, it's gonna need a heat shield, but you know that's easy. Easy enough. Let's see, 2,400 meters per second. You know, you can just kind of, you know, increase the length of those a little bit. We'll get a little bit more. All right. Let's save that. Let's throw it on the pad for one more test, and we'll call it a day. And then I'll figure out about getting the thing up to the vehicle and getting it docked. Oh, it needs more RCS. That's not a problem. That's really easy, actually. Okay, it looks good. And then we can just kind of set things up like this, so that once we're landed, what we'll do is we'll hit that. It'll drop the vehicle. If the communications relays work like they're supposed to, we'll be able to open that. Decouple this. And then, oh yeah, gotta fix that. Invert the steering directions. And then we drive off. All right, yeah, that definitely works. Now, there's no way to recover the rover, which is fine. But a Kerbal should be able to, at this point, EVA, come over here, grab onto the ladder, walk over here and provide any sort of service or gather any science that is needed, and then climb back on board. Oop. Oh, maybe I might need to add some additional ladder there. That's all right. That should work. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and stop here for today because it's a bit of a long one. But all, necessary experimentation and design work. So, we'll go ahead and stop here for today. I'll get that all docked up, and we'll probably get the next Duna mission started next episode. So, for now, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.